Hey guys, this is Collin Moshman for CardsChat.com, and today we have a recording from a short cash session I played recently on Black Chip Poker. This is 25 50-cent blinds, 6 max fast fold Blitz Poker, high action format. So let's check it out together, looking at just the most interesting spots. And as soon as I hit the record button, I was dealt pocket kings, was happy about that. Let's see how this first one plays out. My assumption is that a player who open limps like Nate the Great does is usually going to be a less experienced player. Not always, but if I've got nothing else to go on, I'm going to assume that's most likely. And I go with the standard rule of raising roughly 3 blinds plus 1 for each limper, which works well with deep stacks. Both players call, and this is a way ahead, way behind flop. If I have the worst hand, I'm only going to be drawing to 2 outs, one of the 2 kings. If I have the best hand, it's going to be really hard for anybody to catch me. Usually in those spots, you want to check back to allow players to bluff with worse hands, maybe catch up to a second best hand. Or of course, when they have you beat, then you lose less by checking flop. At the turn, I'm betting for value. Queen is a very good card. It makes it much more likely somebody has called up to a second best hand they can pay off with. And it's like king, queen, queen 10 suited, queen jack. So I'm betting for value there. And I'm going to keep betting this river if he checks. It might be difficult for him on this paired board to get away from a queen. So I'm making a pretty big bet, hoping that he thinks I'm bluffing. Designed to get a queen to pay me off here. And that's exactly what happened. So it works out well. And let's now move ahead in the footage. And we're going to continue to see spots that I play. A lot of them are going to work out well, and some of them aren't. And so that's something that I definitely want to talk about. Here we see a fold 10-9 offsuit on the button. I would have raised if everyone folded to me. And this is going to be a hand where I'm going to limp or raise in the small blind if everyone folds to me. But facing a prior raise, I just give it up. You could also re-raise that hand, but without a read, I prefer just folding, considering we're not getting as good a price from the small blind. Now with 10-9 offsuit, we're definitely going to call if he raises, which I believe he does here. He goes in the tank. He's making us sweated. But we want to play very wide when we're in the big blind and the small blind raises, because here we're getting 2-to-1 odds with position. So if he bets, then I'm going to call. If he bets really small or raise, if he bets something like 175, then I would call as a float with the draw. Once he checks, I'm definitely going to bet. I have the open and straight draw. I don't know much showdown value, so I'm going to fire, and I'm going to stay aggressive with this hand. If he called there, I'm betting the vast majority of turns. So let's go ahead and skip ahead again. And I want to talk very briefly about this Jack 9 offsuit. So with Jack 10 offsuit, I'm definitely raising in the cutoff. Jack 8 offsuit, I'm definitely folding. Jack 9 offsuit, I think it's fine to go either way. I do make the raise. Now, Ice, Bank, Mice, Elf, kind of a mouthful to say, is a reg in a lot of formats. I think he plays a bunch of high stakes hypers as well. And you never have to worry about raising one of the worst hands in your range and then folding to a 3-bet. So you're basically supposed to fold the worst hands you would open if somebody re-raises you. So for that reason, I'm not going to give too much consideration to those spots. We're now going to pick it up against a player who's tanked tremendously. So he's raised on the button. I make a late 3-bet in the small blind with king 6 suited. I believe this player is opening quite a bit on the button. And this hand plays reasonably well when called. So I 3-bet him, knowing he's on a wide range. And then we're going to c-bet this flop. This is a fairly dry flop. So I think I have pretty good fold equity. I'm going to bet fairly small when I c-bet a drier flop. There are plenty of flops I would just give up, including very coordinated ones. So let's continue here with this 10-8 offsuit. Under the gun is raised, and when he raises very small, I'm getting very good odds to call, and this hand is very playable. I would rather this nice offsuit semi-connector like the 10-8 offsuit compared to a hand like, let's say, king 3 off. We flop an overcard and gut shot. And I like to put in the check raise. I don't want to just give up considering that I do have this draw. And also a lot of the time he's going to have a hand like a Broadway hand or an ace-high hand that hasn't connected and just folds. This jack is great. It gives us the open-ended straight draw. When you're not sure what to do with the draw on the turn, you don't have much showdown value, it's usually a lot better to fire again. That's what I do here, and it works. King, queen suited, we're going to open. Good one call. It's fine to c-bet here or check back. We do have some showdown value with king high, some ability to improve with two backdoor draws, but I like putting out the small c-bet to charge him to draw to 6 out. So if he has a hand like 8-7 offsuit, then he doesn't get a free shot to connect with those pairs. And the last hand we're going to look at today is here with this king-jack offsuit. So if everyone folds to us, we're going to raise. And king-jack suited, we could call in position. King-jack off is kind of marginal to do that with. And we have a really nice opportunity when the cutoff calls as well. This is a nice spot to squeeze. In other words, to put out a re-raise facing a raise and a call. You have a very good risk-reward ratio. And this is a decent hand to do it with, considering we don't really want to call. The king and the jack are blockers, making it less likely their opponents have hands like ace-king or pocket jacks. So we make the 3-bet there for that reason, the squeeze. Both players fold and works out well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. This has been Collin Moshman for CardsChat.com.